get this party started. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the newest family member at Factor 8. Who do we have there, Brad?
This is Wrigley. He's the newest member of the Truant clan. He's
Aw,
8 weeks old
he's
and
so sweet.
close to nap time, so he's pretty subdued at the moment.
He's so chill. He looks so happy there in Daddy's arms. We all needed a little spot of puppy, didn't we, everybody? Right?
Right.
So we'll use that as our chat warm up this morning. Tell us what city you're in and the name of your all-time favorite pet, or who is sitting under your desk right now. If it's your husband, I guess that's just, whatever. Oh, look at the love. It's so good. I am in Phoenix, and my puppy's name is Cooper. And then I have another named Parker. And to be honest, there's a cat and a snake and another, like, we are a rescue house for sure. And what's this name again, Brad? Who do we have and why?
This is Wrigley. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, yeah. So your wife got to pick the team, right? Because you're
Yeah.
Diamondbacks through and
I-
through.
Well, we compromised. His middle name is Chase, so Wrigley Chase for the two different stadiums.
I love that. What you guys don't know is Brad works behind the scenes at the Arizona Diamondbacks, runs the scoreboards and all the cool stuff and the stats, and multi-talented. So it's a baseball family and a baseball dog. But not what we're here to talk about today. Thank you for letting us start with some puppy love, Brad. That was fantastic. Welcome, everybody. What we are talking about today are our 5 most common call mistakes. And yeah, we're even going to play you real life examples right served from the sales bar. My name is Lauren Bailey. My friends call me LB. And this is Wrigley's dad. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, and Lauren calls me BT. So, Brad Truant, super excited to be on this webinar, and we're going to go through some rough calls and talk about how we can make these better.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Brad's always out in the world working with our clients hands on, and I love the stories and the insights that you bring. So let's get this party started. If you haven't joined us before, folks, Brad and I work for a company called Factor 8. I founded Factor 8 16 years ago because I'll tell you, it's still hard today. When you're looking to bring in sales training or brush up on your own sales skills, 90% of what's out there is still face to face training. And so Factor 8 was built for the virtual world. We work only with inside reps like BDRs and AEs and account managers, and of course, frontline managers as well. Tons of the work we do is with sales managers. So those are a few of the logos we're really proud to serve. If this is your first shot, any virgins out there, any first shots, tell me if this is your first one in chat. But you can find all of them at factor8.com/shots. Now, we do one every month, and we rotate between a rep topic, a manager topic, or an enablement topic. Maria, welcome. I love it. Virgin shot. They're always free. We go super fast paced. None of this theory crap. You're going to walk away with real stuff you can use. These are all things we're stealing that are available in their full form in the sales bar. But if you're a manager attending this, we have a lot of folks bring the whole team. Book a Zoom room to chat about it before and after, get into a conference room. Whether or not you do shots is up to you. I hear this a lot, Brad, when I'm out speaking at conferences. They're like, we have so much fun. We're always like, where's the tequila? So sorry, it's virtual tequila. I've got one announcement to make before we jump right in. I'm going to say congrats to Brad and the rest of the team. Again, this year we've been chosen to help companies fund training with grants. Yeah, we're a certified provider of sales apprenticeships like welders and electricians, folks. There's one for sales. What does that mean for you? Apprentices stay longer in organizations. People who go through apprenticeship training make more, and it's a way that you can offset some of the price of bringing training from Factor 8 into your org. Here we go. Sales shot number 1. What we're going to do, folks, is count down the 5 most common. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, none of you are old enough to remember David Letterman. Give me a chat. Say 1 in the chat if you ever watched David Letterman's top 10. Maybe they have like YouTube clips on it now. But it was great. He was open up the old CVS mailbag, and then we would count down David Letterman's top 10. Thank you, old people. Woo! I'm not alone. Hi, Nina. Nice to see you here. This is great. Um, so we're going to start with number 5. The fifth most common mistake, the pitch slap. Now, if you're not a How I Met Your Mother fan, this is Barney Stinson, and this was in Slapsgiving, where you know you don't have to, you should watch it. My kids are now addicted. We watch it together, and it's a good time. So the pitch slap, Brad is going to play us an example of that. Let's let him share right from the sales bar. Play it for us. Tell us what we're going to hear, and then we'll talk about it after and how to fix it and how to coach it.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we head into the pitch slap, I'm going to give you a quick little tour on the sales bar that Lauren spoke of. This is a main landing page in the sales bar, and we're going to go to a spot we call the call library. Fantastic resource inside the sales bar that houses all kinds of calls based on skill. Here it is right here. Hundreds of phone calls that we have on all the different skills that we talk about. We're going to go right to the pitch slap. Listen here for um, the prospect kind of getting run over with a truck full of words. We'll listen here and talk about it here in about a minute.
Crank up your audio.
Oh, Alex Long.
Hey,
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
doing good.
I pulled up your LinkedIn. I checked you out earlier. I was seeing what you got going on over there at Go, and I see you are actually in Minnesota. You're near our headquarters, but you are the maintenance and equipment technician at Prince Go, which is typically what we see most of the folks that participate in our webinars for enterprise asset management. So as a courtesy, I just follow up to see what you thought, and if you were looking at possibly getting more in-depth information from us as well. You know, we have the enterprise base. We also have the SQL Server base, which is a much more, it's not as robust, it's not as beautiful as the EAM, but it still serves its purpose. So it's a good, just to follow up.
A lot going on there, right?
A lot.
About a minute before we even heard the customer speak again. So lots to clean up there. Lauren, what do you say?
I say I would have hung up about 58 seconds ago for sure. I also want to shout out to Dennis the cat. That was my favorite name I've seen so far in the chat. I don't know. That one cracks me up. Thank you for being here from Columbia. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about how we fix this up. The pitch slap is when the customer doesn't get to talk. It's like, hello, and then let me just sale vomit all over you, right? I'm being hit immediately by your pitch. How do you fix it, folks? Let's start with why it happens. Like, Brad, you hear a lot of pitch slaps working with our customers every day. Why? Why would anybody think this is a good idea?
Yeah, it's just this overzealousness from the rep of I've got to say a bunch of intelligent stuff up front to establish credibility, and we have what we heard just now, this minute-long monologue of words that you got to remember this person is going about their business, the phone rings and it's you, and here come all the words, right? So how do we just connect with somebody? And something I say to reps all the time is at the end of the day, this is two human beings representing organizations having a conversation, right? So how do we connect and just be a human for a little while, ask some questions, then we can get into all the cool things that we do.
And he had a good start on that, right? I saw you on LinkedIn. You got a lot going on. Ask a question. Okay. Connecting is building rapport, and that doesn't happen one-sided. By the way, step 2 is asking more questions. So people think it's a great call when they have a chance to talk. Did you know that dopamine is released in the brain when you talk about yourself? True story. So what we want is the customer feeling good, not us. Okay. So connect, explore, then pitch. And if you've done a nice job of having a human conversation, they're going to ask you to. They literally going to say something like, I'm sorry, what do you do again? Who are you with again? Right? So Brad, how do you help people turn this around? Right? They're nervous. Somebody finally answered the phone. What do you teach to get them to connect and build rapport and explore for questions?
There's some things we'll do with regards to our introductions on leveraging closed-ended questions. Just establish a little bit of back and forth, right? A closed-ended question to warm up the conversation, get the other person talking is the key. Then we can get into some of the bigger questions that we want to ask and really explore, figure out what's going on in that customer's world. And
Yeah.
then we'll get to the sell point, like Lauren said. But sometimes it's just something as simple as, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Like connect as a human being, ask a few simple closed-ended questions to warm up the conversation, and then you're in the middle of it, exactly what you're
And
trying to
off we
do.
go. Yep. And we'll show you that in our Swift intro in a moment. I love it. Thanks, BT. All right. So if you're a manager out there or a team lead, type me a 2 right now. If you are coaching sales calls, if you are leading reps, if you're a supervisor or a team lead, awesome. Nina, know that. Hi, Kelly. Okay. Ashish, hello. No pets. Sorry, that's a bummer. Selena, but maybe your reps. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Here's how you coach this. If you're listening to it, you want to help this go away on your team. The first one, honestly, is celebrate it. I know that sounds hilarious, but like awareness is the first step, right? So let's have a contest today, tomorrow, the week for who had the longest, pitch slappiest intro, and let's have a good hearty laugh. At least we're getting people to listen for it. All right. Brad, talk about number 2.
Yeah, so what you heard there in the call that we just listened to was what we call a long monologue, right? So being able to identify that in phone calls from your reps of, hey, how long did you talk before they even said anything? And there's some fantastic tools out there that can help you see that and identify it quickly. But those early long monologues are what we're looking for to be able to get those out of your introductions and get into conversations. That's what we're coaching.
Yeah. And if you're using a CI tool, right, whether that's an Outreach or Gong or Chorus or whoever you're using to listen to call recordings, go look for the longest monologue and bring that to your next huddle, right? Or ask the reps to each find their own. All right, the longest call is kind of the opposite. This is a real celebration, and we celebrate that because when people actually connect and the customer gets a chance to talk, those early calls, top of funnel, cold calls that are like a minute and a half, 3 minutes, you're going to start to see them go to 4 to 5 to 7 to 10. And that's what you want to celebrate. So looking for that average longer call or even the longer connect time. All right, what's number 4? The BT chart.
Yeah, the BT chart. And this is something I talked about with some coaches recently on. We listened to a call and we heard something very similar to what we just heard, very little customer talking. And I gave the managers this tip on, hey, put together a quick T chart, right? Your typical pros and cons T chart. And on one side, list all the things that you learned about the customer. On the other side, list all the features and benefits of your offering or solution that you shared. And if that side of the page is stronger than the other side, there's obviously some room for improvement on the questions that we're asking and what we're learning about the customer versus all the stuff that we're sharing or oversharing.
Really good. Love it. If you're looking for call scoring cheat sheets, not just the T chart and the BT, we have some that we will share with you. You can go and download. We've got all kinds of great call scoring mechanisms. Here we go. The number 4 most common mistake. Thank you, Elaine. The blah, 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 blah. And there's no value for the customer in the intro. So Brad's going to pull that up. And while he does, I'm going to ask everybody a favor. Go to factor8.com/survey because we have an amazing survey out there for the rep level, the manager level, the leader level, asking some really cool questions. I even have an insight into one of the answers later in this webinar. But if you take the survey, you get the results. And of course, you got a chance to win some stuff too. You are all going to want to take the Swift intro class in about 5 minutes, and you can get that for free by taking the survey. If you're the winner. Sorry, there's that.
We've got a no value call queued up here, and I want you to listen for some of the weak value that you hear in this introduction. Give it a listen, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yes, hello, Mary. My name is Kendall, and I'm calling with. How are you this morning? All right. Excellent. I'm calling because I was recently assigned the account. I understand that we had talked with you guys probably a couple of years ago regarding some temporary housing for some of your students. Just wanted to touch base with you again, reintroduce ourselves. and get you some information.
All right. So I was recently assigned. I'm touching base. I want to reintroduce myself. All things that we say scream no value, right? How is there any value in that to the prospect that you're reaching out to?
There just isn't. In fact, she must have used the word I 7 times, right? It was clearly all about her. And I just don't even have time to go on my tirade about touching base. But there is one, folks, know that it's there and that I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So, how do we fix this? We fix it with the Swift intro. Here are the sweet, easy steps. You say their name, you perk their ear, you ask a question. Now, I am oversimplifying it. Write Swift if anybody has ever done the Swift intro, because it's our most famous class. If you're using the Swift right now, type Swift into chat for me. And let me tell you why it works, okay? The Swift intro uses a brain hack called instinctive elaboration. It means when I ask you a question, your brain automatically stops what it's doing and starts to answer the question in its head. Brad, what's your dog's name? Now, if you were thinking about what you were going to say next, you're like literally your brain, it just said Wrigley, right? It is science. You're hacking them from stopping up their email and focusing on you. And if you follow it up with a closed question, then before they you're just automatically, folks, something's coming out of their mouth and they're talking to you. Our Swift intros have tripled talk time with clients, right? So look at the difference, right? This first one is here's everything that I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. The second one is quick and easy, right? Hey, found you via our friend. Do you remember him? I'm waiting now for Brad to speak back. It also uses those social norms. The goal of the intro is not to gain the right to sell, to let them know what you sell, it's nothing but getting them talking. So you gotta take the Swift intro class, right? So this is it. How do you coach it now? Well, number one, go take the damn class because this thing works. Brad, what else have you done on this list to help coach better intros?
Yeah, a big thing that I commonly see when going through this course is folks want to tag on the smartest open-ended question at the end of their introduction, and all that does is trigger the person to go, wait a second, like I just met you 10 seconds ago. I don't want to tell you all that information, right? So we talk a little bit about how do we leverage a closed-ended question here, like Lauren just talked about, and make sure we just establish that back and forth, because we always got to remember, and I say this incessantly, we're an interruption. This phone call is an interruption in their day. They're juggling lots of different things. How do we get them to put down one of the 50 things and give us at least a sliver of their attention? That's what we're trying to do.
Practice it in huddles, do round robins. When you hear a crap intro like we just did, have a great big loud buzzer. I also don't mind, bats. And here it is, folks. If you want to go take this class, this is your 35% off. This is the entire prospecting 12 pack. If you go out here, you can also find just the class, but this is going to set you up. Everything we're talking about today is in this. And at the very least, you need the Swift Intros class. All right, let's go to number 3. Sales mistake. Number 3, it's all about the elevator pitch. Your value prop should not be actually that much of an elevator pitch. So let me, oh shoot, I forgot to, there it is. There's my stop share. I ran out of screens. Like I wasn't even sharing, but all right, Brad's going to play it for us.
Yep. So in this call, listen for just a batch of convoluted words, and we're trying to understand what is happening here. So give it a listen, and we'll talk about it here momentarily.
I was just following up from the recent webinar you had attended. Just wanted to touch base, see if security information, event management on your roadmap here in the future.
Yeah, I didn't catch, Chris, which company you're from. I don't know that company. So you said that so what do you do?
We provide security information and event management.
Oh, okay.
So we basically a log aggregator and then advanced correlation to help you be aware of threats within your environment.
Okay, so you analyze logs then, or what do you do?
Yep, exactly. So we correlate advanced correlation of your logs. So basically, you collect all your logs, centralize the data, normalize the data, then send it through an advanced correlation engine, and then basically alert you to threats that might exist within your environment.
So we got that cue that we like. Hey, who are you? What do you do? I didn't catch that. It gives the rep that prompt to go into, hey, we help companies do XYZ, or we're known for. It's the opportunity. Some room for improvement there with this rep. So, LP, what did you hear?
Yeah, I just heard a lot of details and I didn't get it and the customer didn't get it. And folks, the simplest thing, there's a lot of prompts we teach in our value props, Swift value props, but I think the easiest one is we help companies. If your value prop, aka elevator pitch, doesn't answer that question succinctly and quickly, you're doing it wrong. Okay. So if you start with that, it's going to make a world of difference. It needs to answer the Swift question. So what's in it for them? Right? This guy's adding details and people still didn't know what he was doing. Right? So taking Swift value props is something we recommend. Rewriting it is something we recommend. My favorite way to coach this, Brad, something we do in live training is the high school reunion, right? Like have everybody in a huddle, meet and greet each other. Hey, BT, good to see you. I haven't seen you since, high school. How's it going? Are you married? You have some bullshit conversation for a second. And then you ask the inevitable question in America, hey, what do you do? And then Brad's going to answer it for me. And if you're too embarrassed, if you wouldn't say your value prop after 3 beers at a high school reunion, then you have way too many $3 words in there and nobody's going to understand it. So keep it cool, man. Like, keep it short, keep it simple. How about you, Brad? Anything you want to add here?
Yeah, that's a great exercise. Just that, hey, let's keep it simple, right? Tell me who you are, what you do, and how you help companies. The simplicity is key. I think too often reps want to say too many slick things up front to try to establish some quick credibility, and it goes off the rails.
It's not the time to sound smart. It's not the time to sound technical. It's not the time to prove that your company's better. It's the time to get them interested in leaning in a little bit. And that's it. Right. I love doing pop quizzes on value props because, again, it's not like we're trying to throw up on the customer. We just get nervous and surprised. So if we can create some muscle memory around getting these things out of our mouths, it makes all the difference. And again, follow-up calls booked. If somebody's actually genuinely interested, if it's cold and they can't talk right now, you're going to get a follow-up call. So this is a KPI that leaders we can and should be measuring out there. Then once again, you can get cheat sheets, including our value props and our intros at the link there. And you'll put that in chat for us. If you're listening to this thinking, hey, this is cool, but I like these slides better and I wish I was the manager. Ladies, unfair advantage time. Give me a girls club in chat if you are a girls clubber in the house. There aren't enough women who are getting promoted up. Tons of amazing female reps and underrepresented reps. But there's something about that risk of, I'm going to raise my hand and go for the promotion into being in management that I know it was scary for me. And after almost 600 promotions in Girls Club, I know that it can be scary for you listening out there. So I want you to look at these stats, right? Look at our promotion rate. Look at the feedback rate. But now check out the one in the middle. Not one woman who came into Girls Club actually felt ready. That's what we're for. So if you're thinking about management someday in the next few years, guess what? You're actually ready. Scan the code. We're going to meet you right where you are. We'll take good care of you, I promise. Mercedes, Maria, Kelly, Nina, right? Girls Club for Life. Get in here. Gentlemen listening, I want you to recommend a friend. Most of the women who joined our cohort are there because somebody encouraged them. So thank you for helping me do that little pitch. We're down to our second most common mistake, and it's the brush off. Brad, take us away.
Yeah, this is a call, and I really want you to tune into how she responds to the brush off. And it's not a classic brush off that we normally hear of, hey, I'm not interested, or I'm busy, or I'm walking into a meeting, but it's a brush off. And I want you to tune into how she responds. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Hello, this is Scott. Yeah, hi Scott. This is Nicole. I'm calling with. We spoke a couple months ago. I think it was back in like April. And we were talking about possibly having the engineer in the area come in and give you guys just a tech update and to talk about some of the newer trends that are in the market. And you suggested that Q3 or the beginning of Q4 would be better. So I'm just calling to follow up on that to see if you had any interest in meeting.
We don't have too many things that are active at this point that I think would line up well that I can think of.
Okay, so
at
then,
this point.
okay, that's not a problem. I'll go ahead and just send you an email with my information and the engineer's information in case you end up needing us for any reason, and then I will go ahead and give you a call later in the new year.
Okay, that sounds good. I appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
It is hard enough to get folks on the phone these days that when we do have a live person on the phone that we can interact with, the last thing we want to do is lay down here. And we heard it, right? He gave his response and she laid down, right? So if we did that every single time we made a phone call, we'd never have the conversations we want to have. So I'm saying all the time, like, keep these alive. Even if, we didn't love his answer, it wasn't the common brush off either, but could she ask a question there and get into a conversation? Yes, 100%. And that's one of the first things that I would say is get them talking. LB, what do you say?
Yeah, folks, when you are getting an objection in the first minute of the call, it's not an objection, it's a brush off. It doesn't matter what they say. What they're really saying is, I don't feel like talking to you right now. All right. It is so hard to do, but what I'm going to ask you to do is completely ignore them. You're going to keep talking. You're going to ask a question and a follow-up question and another question and a follow-up question until they say, wait a minute, I'm actually walking into a meeting. I really have to go now. Or what you might find is 20 minutes later, you've got what you're looking for in this call. Okay. So you get them talking. The class is called Overcoming the Brush Off. It is a pretty simple technique, right? You can make it related. You can make it unrelated. The guy said, I don't have anything that really relates to that right now. It was wide open for her to come back with well, tell me more about what your environment does look like. Are you having more? I would even go with closed first. Are you having more thises or that's? Right? Oh, what do you see occurring and how are you handling those things? You can go right into explore questions. When someone says, I don't have time for this right now, you can even make it related and be like, busy day, huh? Yeah, it's been a rough one. Here, for me too. Are you on a deadline? Okay, you can talk about that. Just keep them talking. It's like a slow pivot back over into a sales conversation. Nina, I want to recognize you. Thank you for saying you want to bring this to the other folks in your team. We're going to follow up because you can get these courses in the sales bar itself for like a couple $100, which is easy, right? Or you can bring in experts like Brad, and some companies work with us like as an outsourced arm of their enablement department. We've been working with some companies for 3-4 years every single month with their sales reps. So we'll follow up with you and let you know how. Anybody else who wants that, please drop something in the chat as well. Folks, how do we coach the brush off? Let's get all these out there. Again, you're looking at that KPI for longer calls, a contest for the longest cold call. This is a Columbo. For anybody who remembers Letterman, you might remember Columbo. Oh, one more thing. Oh, I hear you. Just one more thing. Who can get away with saying that the most often? You're gamifying it, right? The wheel of death is a little exercise we do in classes, Brad, where they have to kind of go around and constantly brush each other off and practice it, right? What does that do when you're doing that with teams?
Yeah, it's getting them familiar with, hey, you're going to hear this. Like I always say, the tragedy isn't like mishandling it. It's knowing that it's coming and not being prepared for it. So going through a wheel of death exercise, or I used to call it the brush off gauntlet, and I would play the role of the customer. I'd give them a brush off and direct it to somebody else. And we just go around the whole team constantly handling brush off. So you get comfortable addressing these when they happen on phone calls, because we've all been on calls where we've gotten a brush off and then 10 minutes later we're still on the phone call. So we can't give up. We've got to get them talking, and we can do that in some simple ways by asking some simple questions.
It's all about building that confidence and the muscle memory. So again, really, really good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the number one, drum roll, please. mistake when making sales calls? Not making the sales call. I do not have dead air for Brad to play in the sales bar, but I can guarantee that you have some that you've heard lately. My friend Regina, we were just working with them out of Texas. The team went and did a analysis like we do at the beginning, came back and said, well, they've made 350 calls. And I was like, oh, well, they've got a team of like 30 to 50. That's not bad, right? So is that for the month or for the week? Do you remember the answer, Brad? For the year.
This year.
Like, oh, it's getting harder out there. So I'm just going to prove it to you, folks. This is a sneak peek at the survey we're asking you to take. There it is, factor8.com/survey. So interestingly enough, when reaching out to prospects, what are you doing most, reps? Email and social. 25% are reaching out with phone calls. And now when we look at what actually works, part 2, phone calls jump by double. We're not selling over email, folks, right? We're just trying to get attention and get them on a call. So make the call. That's the number one mistake that we hear out there. And by the way, it works. Anybody want to guess what percentage of buyers say they've accepted meetings after a few cold calls? Pop it into chat for me quick. Quick. 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank you, Leah. Well done. 65, 30. The answer's 82%. So if you're coaching call reluctance, a few tips here. Leaderboards, man. Start with some dials, then move to time, then move to connects, then move to how long they are over 2 minutes, right? The other thing is call your reps. It's like I Slack Brad all day long. And then I'm like, you know what? Damn it. We teach to make phone calls and I need to pick up the phone and call them. So give them some training. The number one feedback we get from clients. Oh, Brad, you missed. Oh no, you were there. You were running it. Our quarterly meeting with Rio. What's the number one you're seeing so far? They just went piled on confidence, phone confidence, calls are up. It was just beautiful, beautiful. So get it going for them. Folks, you can get, we've already shown you how to get the prospecting certification. You can get the cheat sheets from it right here, straight from the sales bar. So these are some of the tips that you'll find in those classes. We don't have time to go through all of my pet peeves because I just want to wrap this up for everybody. Here it is in summary. You don't want to pitch too soon. Work on that value-based intro to get them talking with closed questions. Explore before you pitch and talk through the brush-offs. Here's the class. One more time, factor8.com/prospecting. We've never done 35% off. Seriously, get good at this. You can fill your pipeline before the end of the year and hit the big quota. And last chance, scan it, babies. Come and join us in Girls Club. We're starting again in January and July. Over 500 promotions to date. I'm going to wrap it up. Ask everybody to come back and see us again next month. Thank you for being here. Brad, thank you for joining us. I'll hang out for a moment in case anybody has a question. We'll stay here and answer. Thanks for joining us. Have a great one. We'll see you next month.
Thanks all.
Awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. What was the percentage off with the new code? It's 35% off for a 12-pack. There's 12 classes in there. And this is the same training that we're using in huge companies, right? The difference is you're not getting the trainer. So if you can roll it out yourself as the leader or you can self-train, take the cheap route and just get access to the sales bar. Factor8.com prospecting, and the code is new. Amy, thank you for being faster than me. That's the fast and easy way to bring it in. If you can't get an enablement budget, right? The best thing you can do is get live training and coaching. And we've got a beautiful way of rolling this out that really sticks. Then the next thing you can do is get access to the good stuff and interactivity, and you help coach it, and you'll get access to all of those coaching cheat sheets. Yay. How do you do these for inbound sales? We do inbound sales. Yes, we're working with the team at Waste Management right now on retention and sales and conversions, and we're seeing some really great early results. So this prospecting 12-pack is about outbound, but Connie, we can recommend the right classes for inbound as well. In fact, we'll send you over. I'm sure if you register for this, we've got your email, right? Would it be okay with you if you send you a couple suggestions? Waiting for Connie. Oh, cool. Hi, Southern. Wonderful. Yes, we do it for inbound. Yeah. Happy to help. So there's 38 courses and 5,000 videos and tools and templates that we're teaching. And so we do all kinds of different combinations, and we've had some great success with inbound. So super happy to send that to you. Steve and Connie. Anybody else have a question? Nina, if you're there, you're exactly right. D&B is working with our management training right now, and we're talking to Dharmesh about bringing in the rep training. So go let him know that it's a brilliant idea, will you? And we'll let you know where we're at. Ashley will follow up with you on that. Any other questions I can help with while we're here? Anything for Brad? You're welcome. All right, I think it's time to close up the CBS mailbag, as they say. Awesome. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next month.
Thanks.